Now, public sector workers, including teachers and doctors, have been offered pay rises of around 4%. But ministers are bracing for strikes as some unions say the rises are, guess what, inadequate.
Do they deserve more, or should they accept smaller rises to fund things like winter fuel payments? Well, we're joined now by former NHS GP Dr Alka Patel, who believes healthcare workers need a pay rise to improve morale and staff retention. And actress Debbie Arnold, who argues the pay boost should be paused to bring back the winter fuel payments for all pensioners. We know that winter fuel... I'm going to start with you. We know that winter fuel has been such a source of hurt and fear and angst and agony. And now Sir Keir Starmer has said he wants more people to get it. Why is that not enough for you that more people get it when we know the NHS is struggling?
Well, it's a kind of double-edged sword, isn't it? Because if you don't get the winter fuel payment, then you're going to be going to the doctors. So the 150 quid, per month, or, there's £300, which is like, it'll be 2 months, wouldn't it, of gas and electricity. And it will help people. Otherwise, we're all going to be going to the doctors. Yeah. So it kind of works in different ways. Also, the means-tested payment is £11,500 a year. That's all you have to earn to get that. And most people's pensions are 11,000 now, so it means they get absolutely nothing. And I think it's really important. And the other thing is our elders are not being looked after. These are people that have worked for years. They've paid NI. They deserve it. I deserve it. We all deserve it. When you get to a certain age, you can't just be thrown up and, say, oh, by the way, get the next plane to Dignitas, can you?
OK, let's bring in Dr Alka Patel. Dr Alka, what we're saying here is that everyone has a right into this country. Every citizen has a right just for the very basics. And what a lot of pensioners are saying, this winter, taking away their winter fuel allowance has meant that they're losing some of these basics. Now, the doctors right now, they can feed themselves, they can heat their homes, they can clothe themselves. They're getting those basics. Is it right at a time like this, as much as there's a strong argument, but is it right that someone should get a pay rise over pensioners not getting some of their basics?
Let me first start by saying I find it incredibly heartbreaking that we're even having this conversation, that there are pensioners in this country right now that are having to choose between heating and eating. And warmth is not a luxury. It should never be. It is exactly as you said, Adele. It's a basic human need. But what we must remember is that, yes, protect the pensioners, absolutely, but not at the expense of draining those who are there to look after them. This isn't really about the pensioner versus the public sector at all. But
he's made it like that because that's how people feel at the moment. So by saying we've got to give doctors more, but we're going to, we'll think about the pensioners. He's going to be, we're all going to be pensioners one day.
Yeah, right.
And
so what would
be
impact then, make your case on this? Because, a lot of people aren't getting pay rise at all, people are losing their jobs. People will look at this, however much they know the extraordinary work the doctors, nurses, health workers do. Think, hang on, this looks like a good settlement. Why is there necessary more? Set it into context from your perspective.
Let's not talk about pay envy. Let's make this about pay equity. We've got junior doctors, many junior doctors, who are earning less than the baristas. Think about that in the context of their dedication, their hard work, their night shifts. There is pressure in the system, and that pressure is very, very palpable. The very doctors that you say are going to be needed in order to care for the pensioners in the winter are not going to be there. It's something that we really need to be very aware of. We need doctors on the ground. If you look at it now, 40 doctors every single month are leaving the NHS, and those numbers are not being replaced.
Where are they going, then? If they're leaving the NHS, because that means that they end up with no job, or are they finding income jobs elsewhere? What are they doing? Where are they going?
Well, if you think about, again, the statistics, 2 million people are off with sickness absence related to mental health issues, related to work pressures, related to burnout. So this isn't a bottomless bucket. We can't keep punching holes into this bucket, because we all know how that song, There's a Hole in My Bucket, ended, right? There's no fix. So let's think about it in a very different way.
Yeah, we have to.
It's about financial priorities, though, isn't it? That's the problem.
That is the problem.
And, would you say, yes, I mean, you used to get the payment, now you don't because of the changes. Did you need it more than a doctor on a, 24-hour shift?
Personally, didn't. I mean, I'm lucky enough to say that. But an awful lot of people do. And an awful lot of people now, I just think with our elderly, that they really need... It's about feeling valued as well. When you say this cut, that cut, for everything to do with the elder, it's just not fair.
All
right, but means testing is not about denying. It's not about denial. It is about delivering care to where it's needed most.
OK,
and that's the most important.
we are going to have to leave it there. But Dr. Alka Patel, thank you so much. And Debbie Arnold, thank you
Thank
too
you.
as well.